That's how I knew that I made it. I woke up looking as good.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a beautiful day today. And if you ain't know, you tuned in to Lady Isis, also known as Spiritual Detective, where I investigate the investigations, honey. And we got a whole lot to talk about. If you wasn't aware that there is a lady, or a lady who's going, I don't think she went quite viral just yet, but she's on TikTok and she got a lot to say about Shannon Harris, which is the aunt and baby mother, the aunt of Naziah Harris and baby mother of Jarvis Butts. She's claiming to have had this exclusive or secretive interview with Shannon, okay? And Shannon had been doing a whole lot of talking, okay?
Okay, so this is part one, story time on when I went to Michigan and interviewed Shannon Harris and her sister about the Naziah Harris case. So before we went to the house, as y'all can see, we went to, everybody is saying something about a car wash, car place, whatever. That is a place that Jarvis Harris frequent with Naziah Harris, as well as the hotel. And when I went and talked to the gas station clerk, he said what he said, and it was kind of weird that he said the place been closed for quite a long time, but they just open periodically because they didn't have clientele. That just was like a house stroll. That's where Jarvis Butts took his people that he did stuff with. So once we left there or whatever, we went directly to Shannon house, and her sister was coming out of the house. So the way that we think, like we think in a finesse type of way, like we gotta get these folks comfortable in order for them to talk. So when we went, we had on lounge around clothes. I made sure I had on like some sweatpants, a lounge shirt, and some Crocs or whatever, just to have it in their heart like, oh, these people is dressed down, they ain't really on nothing for real. So we approached the car or whatever, and it was a car parked in front of their house, and it was like two guys in the car. She said that it was her brother. Shannon said that it was her brother, and it was Shannon and her twin sister in the car parked in the driveway or whatever. So when I approached the car, we introduced ourselves, but I kind of had the camera up, like it was obvious that I was recording. I walked up to her car with the camera in her face and stuff like that. So I told her that I wanted to interview her about the Naziah Harris case, and she told me to cut the camera off, or she asked me if I cut it off. So I put her back in her comfort zone and let her see me cut it off, but guess what? I kept it on. So a lot of the questions that I asked her, I was asking her like main key point questions, and the person that I was with, I don't know if y'all have a person that y'all conversate with and they basically like you might say, oh, I went to the store, and they be like, oh, what you get? Them new shoes that came out? Like you can't even get it out. So the majority of the questions that I was asking them, the person that I was with was literally answering the questions, and I didn't even realize it until I let other people hear the recordings, and they was like, dang, like she never gave them a chance to answer the questions. But I repeat the question and asked them again. I asked her, have he tried to reach out to her since he been arrested? And she barely answered the question, because once again, the person that I was with basically answered the question as if I was interviewing her. But she said that he called when he first got locked up, and he called after that, but he didn't mention anything in reference to the case. So I also asked her, do she think that he did it? So she was like, I was like, do you think that he killed Naziah Harris? And then she was like, she was nodding her head no, like respectfully, and she was like, no, not like with the evidence they got. I was like, no other kids came forward. Like Naziah never told you she was uncomfortable around him. Nobody ever told you anything about him and stuff like that. So she was like, first of all, let me tell y'all this. I got kids with him, but we was basically never in a relationship. We was just screwing around with each other because he got a lot of hoes. And the sister took it upon herself to tell us Jarvis Harris was her boyfriend first. So Jarvis Harris and Shannon wasn't together all the time. his first girlfriend was Shannon's twin sister. So I asked, did they have kids? Did the twin sister have kids with Jarvis as well? And she was like, she had got pregnant by him, but she had an abortion or whatever. And he got a whole lot of baby mamas. She said she just discovered all his baby mamas since the case had happened or whatever. And he do like younger girls.
All of this going on and stuff, she was thinking about moving already.
Away.
Y'all
neighbors
be weird.
Y'all neighbors be acting weird.
Yeah, but
Now?
before all of this had already...
They probably know better.
Yeah, before all of this had already happened, my plans was already to move. I was supposed to move last year.
Yeah.
In 23, 28, in late 23.
And it make you just want to move in silence because everything you do, they gonna twist. They gonna twist. They gonna make you crazy.
That that it hurts my heart that they keep saying my daughter was the 11-year-old girl that had got molested by her dad. It wasn't my daughter.
Oh, wow. So they just made some whole shit.
It was.
Creating their own
I hope
narrative.
y'all don't be reading that stuff.
Baby, we don't look.
I wouldn't read
Baby,
that
no,
shit.
it's like everything that what people like. I got my friends, they be sending me this.
Right.
It like, look at this shit, and I'm like, just
Cause
let
look,
them
even
be
if y'all gotta think about it like this, even if it did go a whole nother way, you know what I'm saying? They gonna blame y'all for whatever way it went.
I mean,
whatever way it went, they gonna say something bad. They gonna say something.
So do you believe that he did it? Like, kill her?
with all the evidence and stuff, I'm looking at he brought. See, the other baby mama, I didn't even know that he had a baby mama on the west side.
Right.
I also asked her about the younger guy. I mean, not the younger guy. The old guy that Naziah was seen in the video dancing with. And she said that's their uncle. And he don't like kids. Like, the reason why he have the charge that he have is because he moved to Ohio. Y'all know the older guy that had glasses on that was kind of like rubbing all on Naziah and touching her when she was dancing. It looked like she was on TikTok or whatever. She said that guy in particular is their uncle. He's a great uncle, and he would come sit with the kids sometimes. She said he is not a child, what's the name, but he went to Ohio and he was dating a snow bunny, and the snow bunny basically lied about her age. Basically the same story that all child, what's the name, say. The snow bunny lied about her age and put those charges on him or whatever. He's not that type of person or whatever like that. She said in their house they had like an open door policy. Basically, the kids could come forward to them and tell them anything that they wanted to tell them, and they would be opening ears. She said the way that she raised them is they can go outside like whenever they want to. They don't have permission to go outside, but they got to be in eye view. She said they couldn't like go up the street and turn the corner and can't to where she can't see them at or whatever. So I asked her, like, well, if you and Jarvis was never in a relationship, why was it okay for him to like continuously come get Naziah? And she used to say like she said Naziah alibi was her daughter, which is Jarvis Butt's daughter. She would be going with her dad, and Naziah can be like, oh well, can I go too? Because her sister, which is Naziah's mom, is supposed to be like some type of addict, and she had custody of Naziah. And I asked where Naziah's dad was, and she said that they're unfit parents, and that's how she ended up with Naziah, because she said Naziah was her favorite and she took care of Naziah. So I asked her who did she think unalive Naziah. So she looked at me and she asked me like, are you recording? At the time I wasn't recording, so I showed her my phone again. I said, no girl, look, I'm not recording, no red dot, no voice memo, no nothing. And she was like, well, when she found out that Naziah was pregnant, she was pregnant as well by Jarvis Butts, but she had a miscarriage with her baby. And I asked her, like, did you go to an abortion clinic to like, you know, get rid of everything, or did the baby discharge itself? She said, well, she don't believe in abortions or whatever, but with that baby in particular, she didn't want to keep it, and her first intentions was to go get an abortion because she knew Naziah was pregnant as well. And with Naziah being so young, they could not take Naziah to an abortion clinic without being questioned. So I said, so how far along was Naziah when she went missing or whatever? She said, if she can recall, Naziah was doing things to basically get rid of the baby herself. I said, like what at home remedies could you do to get rid of the baby? Like, what was she doing at home to get rid of the baby? So she was like, well, Naziah asked her to buy her like some pads or whatever, like stuff that you'll use on your menstrual cycle, and said she would start having cramps and being in pain, and her period had came on. So Shannon said, with her being an adult and she have all these kids, she know you're not coming on no period while you're pregnant. And she said that's kind of around the time that Naziah had basically went missing or whatever. So I said, so you don't know how far along she was or whatever when she went missing? Like, you don't, like if I'm a mother, or if my niece, I have custody of my niece, I'm gonna be tuned in on her pregnancy or whatever. And plus, you're leaving, you're saying she could come and go as she please, and she's carrying a baby. That's when a woman is most vulnerable or whatever like that. Basically, when Naziah started making it appear that she wanted to keep the baby, it was kind of too late, because she came across like some abortion pills. It's these pills. She said it's 4 of them that you get, and you put 2 of them in your mouth and you put 2 of them in your vagina, and it basically get rid of the baby. But at that time, Naziah was too far along, but she still wanted Naziah to try to take it. She also said when you take these the substance or whatever, you kind of bleed out a lot. And she said for some reason, after she started checking like her pads and stuff that she bought her for her menstrual cycle while she was already pregnant, she wasn't using none of them. So she asked like Naziah, like, let me see your underwear, like you don't have on anything, like you're basically like you're not bleeding yet, like the baby is not discharging yet or anything. So she said she started searching everything, and she could not find the 4 substances that she gave Naziah to take. So she was questioning Naziah and asking her like, hey, did you take them continuously? And she felt as if Naziah was getting frustrated with her. And that's when she was telling Naziah like, hey, you can't go nowhere or whatever. Basically, she started being tough on her, because she's like, at this point, you're telling me that you don't want to keep it, but somewhere in my heart, I feel as if you do want to keep it. And I already had a miscarriage on my baby, and I feel as if I only had a miscarriage on my baby because you're stressing me out. So that's when I was getting confused, because it's like, you said something about an abortion, then you said a miscarriage, but okay.
Let's just sit back and see, y'all. You know, because me personally, I care more about her having this conversation with Shannon than anything else, any other interview. You get what I'm saying? She would have been the one that, Shannon is the one that we need to hear from. Yes, we need to hear from Marquita. Yes, we need to hear from Annette. Yes, we do need to hear from any other family members of Naziah that was in proximity of her on a regular basis. Yes. But the ones that were there with Naziah when she went missing, and her caregivers, those are the ones that we really want to hear from. So I'm agreeing with this comment when they say she probably got more out of them than anybody else interview that we have seen. Technically, honestly, she's getting that valuable information from Shannon, allegedly. Okay, so let's just see how it unravels and how it plays out. If you are catching this replay, make sure you let me know how you feel in the comments, what you think about this newly surfacing sounds like Shannon's ex-friend. Just let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll be back. Good night, good evening, or good morning whenever you catch this live. Peace, peace, y'all.
I'm in the top of the game. I'm who they hate. This shit come with the fame. That's how I knew that I made it. I woke up looking this good.